My name is Stephanie and I'm a DBT therapist, and I really wanted to share with you today one of the skills that I'm using during this really difficult time to really kind of take care of myself and really reduce my vulnerability to negative emotions, because being at home all the time can be really challenging. And so I want to talk to you about the skill of building mastery. And building mastery is really trying to find things that you can do that are not too difficult, but that are easy enough that they generate a sense of accomplishment. And so when we do things in our life that build a sense of mastery, it really builds our sense of control, our sense of accomplishment, and feeling more self-confident, which can lead over time to a greater self-concept and increased happiness. And so we really need to focus on being able to do as many things as we can, maybe starting even with one thing during the day that you do, and trying to increase that over time of building a sense of mastery. And one of the ways that I kind of remember, when I'm picking an activity to build mastery, I really want to get kind of in this middle range here, where I'm doing something that's possible but not too difficult. So I don't want to end up trying to pick an activity that's too impossible, because a sense of failure is really not going to increase the likelihood that I'm going to try again. So something has to be possible to do, but I also don't want it to be too easy, because then that's not going to generate that sense of accomplishment that I'm looking for. So kind of finding that sweet spot right here is kind of where we need to be. And again, it's going to take trial and error. So essentially, you're building mastery and learning to build mastery. And it takes a lot of wise mind, because it's going to be very individual for each person. And so I'm just going to share with you a couple of things that I'm doing in order to build mastery in my life right now during this difficult time. So one of the things, got my walking shoes here, really trying to get that exercise into my day to help me with my energy levels and just getting some movement into my life. So I don't walk a ton, so for me to start out, kind of 15 minutes about 3 times a week is a good start for me. Getting out there and walking an hour every day, not so much, generates a sense of not being able to do it again, failure. And so that's probably not going to work for me. Yet, going out 5 minutes 1 time a week, a little too easy. So again, remember, our goal is to generate a sense of accomplishment. So that's one of the ways that I work that in. Another thing that helps me sometimes is like using my Fitbit. So my Fitbit can help me kind of find that sweet spot too. Like maybe I have a certain number of steps that I try and get to, and I can track it, but I don't want too many. So some other things I'm doing, as I've been home, I like to bake. And so I really have wanted to focus on making some new recipes. But I'm a little bit timid about making some of the recipes, because I'm not real experienced in the kitchen. So one of the things, I got out my almond flour and I got out my bread pan, and I thought, I'm going to try and make some bread. So for me, what I like to do is I like to go to Pinterest to look for the recipes. And so one of the things I did with this bread is I put in the search word easy bread recipe, and it pulled up some things that I really felt like I could try. So being able to try something more easy was going to work for me, and over time, as I get some practice, I might be able to type in more difficult or intermediate bread recipe. And then another thing that I'm really trying to work on during this time, and if you notice, a lot of these things are kind of self-care kind of things, my mindfulness practice. So I have tried to be very intentional about my mindfulness practice, but I find it difficult. It is not easy to work on mindfulness. So I got myself a cushion And I started with just sitting for 5 minutes, and then I built to 10, and then to 15. And you know, I had to start easy and had to work up. I use Headspace, which really helps me because it has built-in 5, 10, 15 minutes. And you can even start with like 3-minute ones that are like free that you don't even have to buy. So I find that to be really helpful. A way that I have really found to be helpful with building mastery is using my timer. So even like with the mindfulness, I would go ahead and just start at 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And a lot of times I have a really hard time getting started on things. So I will start with 5 minutes on my timer. If it goes off, I'll tell myself, okay, can I do another 5 minutes? And I'll do that. And one of the last things I want to communicate to you is notice. Notice on the other end of building mastery, the benefits. Notice, you know, are my emotions more regulated? Do I feel better about my life? Do I feel more in control? Because really noticing on the other end of the skills that we use, whether they help us, really reinforces using them again. So really encourage you, use some mastery today, build some mastery today, and thank you for the opportunity to join you today. Have a great day.